Alright guys, here's a little longer video on the Scout 80. Sorry it took a little while. My projects tend to take a bit just because I have other things going on. But here we've got the Scout 80. We've got the front end pulled off of it right here. Just to make it a little easier to access everything. Take off the duct work and the radiator and all that. Body is completely disconnected from the frame. It's currently sitting on some cribbing, just some 2x6s. The body doesn't weigh all that much. I don't have an exact scale, but I estimate probably somewhere around 600-700 pounds. So everything's disconnected. As you can see, essentially like a little 6-inch body lift on it right now. Getting ready to crib it up some more, then roll the chassis out from under it, put it on a trailer, and then pull the new chassis in, drop it on. So for those of you wondering, again, obviously this isn't a step-by-step, right? Remove this bolt, remove this. But for those of you wondering what all is required in this, so simple things. There's a body mount bolt here, here, and then on the other side, right there, and on the other side, and then 4 along the rear. 2 of them are accessible from the bed. I had to cut those out though. And then 2 of them are accessible from that little hole right there. Disconnect all your body bolts. Inside, pull your cover off, pull your, what do you call them? Not joysticks. Pull your sticks off, transmission, transfer case, or if you want to make it easier, pull the engine and transmission first. Pull that off. You got to disconnect your brake lines. All of your battery sits right here, so disconnect all of your starter wire and all that, anything from the firewall. It's not a lot. On the back, you've got a throttle cable as well as a hand throttle. You got an e-brake cable, some brake lines, clutch lines, and then your steering shaft. You can either take it off, take the column off, or I just disconnect it from the steering box. You will have to pull the radiator. As you can see, I let the fan on. And this I know is going to have to be trimmed out to sit on the new Blazer body. But before I cut, I want to set it down kind of at an angle and see, how much I need to cut. Yeah, currently, only rust I've found. There's a little bit of cancer right here on these inners. Everything else on the Scout looks good. Nothing crazy. Oh, and there's also a couple of fuel lines and a wiring harness down there. I just cut everything because I'm gonna splice it into the new chassis. But yeah, coming along good. Like I said, I took the risers off the door, pulled the windshield down, and stripped it down as much weight as possible. And yeah, I will tune back in just a minute when I get the body completely off before I get the new chassis in. Guys, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate, but this is the setup I'm running with. Yes, those are ladders, but each one's rated 300 pounds. Now it's rated to 300 pounds. And these are 2x6s bolted together. No deflection at all. Like I said, the body only weighs maybe 600-700 pounds. So I'm not too worried about it. The back is just supported by my cherry picker for now. And yeah, as you guys can see, it is completely free of the frame, ready to roll right out from underneath it. So, and yes, it is turned around. I know, less than a minute ago, the Scout was facing the other way. I did pivot it around just so I wouldn't have to lift it so high to essentially roll the motor throughout all underneath it. But yeah, as you can see, it'll clear the beam, and then yeah, we'll roll it out from under here, and we'll get back with you in a second. All right, guys, so we got the old frame out. As you can see, the Scout is sitting on cribbing, and yes, This is completely safe. This is 2x6s. Bolted together. About 625 PSI is what a beam like this will hold. Each ladder's rated for 300 pounds. Factor of safety 3 to 4, so you're looking at 9 to 1,200 pounds per ladder. Again, the same beam back here, 625-ish PSI. Each sawhorse has a structural load of 550 pounds each, 1,100 combined. So nothing crazy. And then the picker is there just for safety, in case something happens to these sawhorses. But what I want to show you guys was the underside and just how rust-free this Scout is. I mean, there's some surface rust, don't get me wrong. But I mean, in terms of body rot, just clean as can be. So I guess the good thing about transmission and transfer case leaks is it coats everything with grease and oil and it keeps it from rotting out. So see, we got a little bit right there, rotted that out, but I mean, look at the rockers. Rockers are good. Quite a bit of gravel up in there. The rockers are good. No rust, no rot. Up here, same thing. And like I said, this one, and then that's what you saw from the outside. A little bit of cancer right there, but nothing crazy. Engine bay, and same thing. A little bit on these supports, a little bit starting here. But other than that, I mean, just really, really clean body. Yeah, so we've got the Blazer frame sitting on the trailer, so we'll back it up under here and get it under it. And there she is, the Blazer frame under the Scout. It's sitting about where it's gonna sit. Front, back, left, right, it's fine. But I do have it up about an inch and a half higher than what I will do, just so I can access the top of these shock bolts and do some work underneath. But for the most part, this is how it'll look. Body on frame, obviously bigger tires, wider tires as well. The hardest part, which I didn't see documented either on Pratt's Workshop or Arkansas John, is where to line up the body, front and back. So just kind of eyeballed it. The fenders aren't even. So the width of this fender is different than the width of this fender. And then obviously this one cuts a lot higher up front than back. So just kind of eyeballed it, got it as center as possible. I think it looks good. I was more concerned about the front than the rear. The rear is sitting back a little more, but no big deal. Like even on my 2019 Silverado, it sits closer to the rear than it does to the front. On the rear, so you do have about 8 inches of overhang, which isn't a big deal. Once I get the bumper put on, I can cut off and what I need to from the frame, and then I'll make some plate steel, and essentially do a step out and down, for the bumper to cover the fuel tank. But yeah, that's how she sits. No clearance issues with the firewall. I mean, we have probably a good 24 to 30 inches between the back of the engine and the firewall. But that's okay, because I'll be putting a floor shift kit. This is the 4L60E. So I'll be putting a floor shift kit in anyways, just to keep it automatic. And it'll sit about where those two bolt holes are. And then, of course, the transfer case shifter is cable, so I can move that wherever I need. So no issues there. Clearance on the front. So this is from a 95 Blazer. So this is the 95 4.3 liter with AC. No clearance issues. I had to do the same thing again that Pratt's Workshop in Arkansas John did, was to trim out this core support. That's it right there with the cross brace. But was able to leave the top, and then even with coming down another 1.5 inches, I've still got, you know, plenty of clearance there. As far as forward, once the grill gets on, it'll sit up roughly right behind these frame horns. So I'll chop those off and have a nice piece of square frame tubing to weld front bumper to. The only thing is I'll have to figure out a front body mount for it, because as of now, let me just show you what the plan is. So currently it's just sitting on those blocks, but so the original body mount's right there, so just right behind this one. So I'll weld some angle tubing, square tubing, you know, cut it to 45, and I'll mount it right here. And as you can see, I did paint the frame, but as you can see, it does sit nicely above the frame. The original body mounts to the Scout are back here, back inside of the body. So I will weld some body mounts on the inside of the frame for these. And coming up, again, it's just sitting right here. I'll probably, so this is where the original Blazer body mounts were. I'll probably reuse these, this area right here, and just put, you know, body mount bolt right here, just under this lip under the bed, just to hold it in place and secure it. And then back here, where it originally mounted, under there where all those holes are, I'll weld a piece of square tubing right here, and a piece right here, you know, up as high as I need, and then a piece of tubing across to mount it there. So I have a little more body mounts than it came with. Like I said, the only thing that's going to be doing the front one, trying to figure out something from this. So if you guys have any ideas of mounts for the front of the Scout, that would be great, because like I said, that core support was where it was mounted before, and I no longer have it. But yeah, there it is. Like I said, plan to get some 33 13.5 on some 15x10 black Steelies. So push it out and kind of fill that wheel well up some. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or any questions, let me know.